Alright, let's talk about the most delicate, most misunderstood, most terrifying art form of the 21st century. Sliding into a girl's DMs. Let's be honest. For most guys, this is a digital minefield. You're staring at her profile, your thumb hovering over the message button, and your brain is screaming 1,000 different things at once. What do I say? Is this weird? Am I about to get left on, seen, for the rest of eternity? You feel like you're trying to defuse a bomb, where one wrong move gets you blocked and screenshotted in her group chat. But what if I told you it's not that complicated? What if I told you that most guys are just playing the game completely wrong? They're showing up to a chess match, trying to play checkers. Today, that ends. We're going to break down the difference between the guy whose message gets an eye roll and the guy whose message actually starts a conversation. This is the difference between creepy and confident, between getting ghosted and getting a date. This is sliding into her DMs the right way versus the creepy way. So before we get to the playbook of what to do, we have to understand the enemy. We have to walk through the Hall of Fame of terrible DMs, because chances are you've made some of these mistakes. It's okay, we've all been there. But class is now in session. First up, we have the most common offender, the machine gun liker. This is the guy who, at 2 in the morning, decides to like 27 of her photos from 2019, one after another. Ping, ping, ping. Your phone starts blowing up with notifications. To you, you think you're showing interest. To her, a digital stalker just kicked down her door. Think about it this way. If you met someone at a party, you wouldn't just stand in a corner and stare at them for an hour straight without saying anything. It's weird, it's intense, and it communicates one thing: desperation. You're not a fan, you're a potential suitor. Act like it. Liking 1, maybe 2 of her recent photos is fine. Anything more than that, and you're just coming off as a creep with too much time on his hands. Next on our list is a close cousin, the generic compliment ghost. This is the guy who slides in with a classic, "Hey beautiful, wow you're gorgeous," or my personal favorite, the single fire emoji. Let me translate what she reads when she sees that. "Hello female human. I have evaluated your physical appearance and I approve. I have sent this exact same message to 47 other girls tonight, and I am now waiting for a response." You think you're being charming, but you're actually being lazy. You've said nothing about her, only about her looks. It's a compliment that could be given to literally anyone. It's the conversational equivalent of plain, unsalted crackers. It's boring, it requires zero effort, and it puts all the pressure on her to come up with an interesting reply to your uninteresting opener. You've given her nothing to work with, so she's going to give you nothing in return. And that brings us to our final villain of the day, the unsolicited novelist. This is the guy who decides that the best way to introduce himself is to send a 10-paragraph essay detailing his life story, why he thinks she's the one, and what their future kids will look like. He'll write, "Hey, I know this is random, but I saw your profile and I just felt this connection. You seem so adventurous and kind, and I've been looking for someone with a good heart. I'm a finance bro, but I have a passion for rescuing dogs, and I just feel like we'd get along so well." Bro, slow down. You're a stranger on the internet. A DM is not a marriage proposal. It's the equivalent of tapping someone on the shoulder, not reading your entire diary to them. That level of emotional investment right at the start is a massive red flag. It screams neediness and a lack of social awareness. You've turned a casual introduction into a high-pressure job interview that she never even applied for. So those are the villains. The stalker, the ghost, the novelist. They all have one thing in common. They make the interaction about what they want from her, not about starting a genuine connection with her. They are asking for her attention, her validation, her time. And that's why they fail. Now, let's flip the script. Let's talk about how the guy who actually succeeds does it. The right way isn't about having the perfect pickup line or being a supermodel. It's about being normal, observant, and respectful. It's about one simple concept: context. The single greatest, most effective, most foolproof way to slide into a girl's DMs is by replying to her Instagram story. Why? Because it's a built-in conversation starter. She has literally just given you something to talk about. It's fresh, it's current, and it's low pressure. It's not a cold message out of the blue. It's a warm response to something she chose to share. but how you reply is everything. And there's a simple 3-step formula for it. Observe, question, relate. Let's say she posts a story of a pizza she just ordered. The creepy way is to reply with, "Damn, that looks good." Or worse, "Wish I could have a slice with you." Again, lazy and a little too forward. The right way? You observe the content. It's a pizza. You ask a question about it. "No way, is that from Tony's Pizzeria? Their pepperoni is legendary." Or, if you don't know the place, "That looks incredible. You have to tell me if it's worth the hype." See the difference? The first response is a dead end. The second one invites a reply. You've given her an easy question to answer, you've shown you're paying attention, and you've started a real conversation. Let's try another one. She posts a picture from a hiking trail. The creepy DM, "You have a great body." Blocked. The right way. Observe the hike. Question it. "That view is insane. Is that the trail up by the old reservoir?" You've opened the door for her to say, "Yeah, it is. Have you been?" Boom. Conversation started. Maybe you haven't been. Then you relate. "No, but I've been meaning to check it out. I usually go to the trails on the other side of town." Now you're sharing information. You're building a connection based on a shared interest. You're no longer just some random guy in her inbox. You're a person with similar hobbies. The key is to make your message about the content of her story, not about her looks. The compliment is implied. By engaging with her interests, you're telling her you find her interesting as a person, which is 1,000 times more powerful than telling her you find her hot. Okay, so you've sent the perfect opening DM. She replies, "Now what?" This is where most guys fumble the ball. The conversation is not a game of 20 questions. The goal is not to become her new digital pen pal. The goal is to build just enough comfort and rapport to move the conversation off the app. Think of the conversation like a game of tennis. You hit the ball over the net, she hits it back. If she's giving you short, one-word answers, she's not playing, let it go. But if she's hitting the ball back, asking you questions in return, using emojis, writing in full sentences, then the game is on. Your job is to keep the rally going for a little bit, and then suggest taking the game to a different court. Keep your messages relatively short. Mirror her response length. If she writes a paragraph, you can write a paragraph. If she writes a sentence, you write a sentence. After a few messages back and forth, once you've established a little bit of a vibe, that's when you make the transition. And you do it smoothly. You don't just randomly say, "So can I get your number?" Instead, you connect it to the conversation. Let's go back to the hiking example. After you've talked about trails for a bit, you can say, "Well, hey, I'm definitely going to check that trail out. But listen, I'm about to hop off Instagram. Here's my number. Shoot me a text if you're open to it. Would be cool to chat more." Or even more direct. "This is fun, but I'm terrible at texting on this app. We should grab a drink sometime next week. And you can tell me if that hike was actually as hard as it looks." You're confident. You're direct. You're making your intentions clear. And you're making it easy for her to say yes. You're not asking, "Would you maybe, possibly want to hang out sometime if you're not busy?" You're leading. And what if she says no or doesn't respond? Nothing. You do nothing. You move on with your life. Your self-worth is not determined by a reply from a stranger. The guy who handles rejection with a simple, "No worries, take care," is infinitely more attractive than the guy who gets angry or desperate. An abundance mentality is the most attractive trait of all. You know that if this one doesn't work out, there are millions of other people in the world. So let's recap. Sliding into her DMs isn't about some secret magic line. It's about being a normal, socially calibrated human being. Don't be the machine gun liker, the generic ghost, or the unsolicited novelist. Be the guy who pays attention. Use her stories as the perfect contextual opener. Observe, question, and relate. Keep the conversation light, build a little rapport, and then confidently move it offline. That's it. That's the whole game. You're not trying to trick her into liking you. You're just opening a door for a connection to happen. So take a breath, stop overthinking it, and the next time you see her post something interesting, just send a simple, normal message. You might be surprised at what happens next. Thanks for watching. If this helped, hit that subscribe button. Now go out there and be cool. I'll see you in the next one.